on anything so improbable happening, and yet, ta-da, it has happened. That's how he ends the quote. Now, how could evolutionists say on the one hand, mutation is destructive? I mean, if you're born with a third arm, you're not really doing that well, I assure you. Even though it seems that you've gone forward, you've gone backward. So how could this theory, and again, I'm not denying evolution. I'm saying evolution needs a guiding parent because the numbers are impossible. How could we believe that thing, just a horse, 1 to the 3 millionth power, 1,500 pages to write the number? Would this ever happen? So here's how a Harvard professor answers it. The important point is that since the origin of life belongs in the category of at least one phenomena, time is on its side. However impossible we regard this event, given enough time, it will almost certainly happen at least once. Time is in fact the hero of the plot. I love this part, listen carefully. Given so much time, the impossible becomes possible, the possible probable, the probable virtually certain. One has to only wait because time itself performs miracles. Do you get it? I believe in a 3-word entity called God. Christopher Hitchens believes in a 4-word entity called time. The essence of evolutionary theory, which is undeniable, is that if you give enough time, this is all going to happen. My friends, when I was young, and I'm not a scientist, I remember, and you remember, they told us the world was 4 billion years old. Then they said it was 8 billion. Now we're up to 16. Soon it'll be 20, 30. Soon they'll give it a trillion years. Now why? Because the more we discover the complexity of life and the impossibility of any of this stuff evolving, the more time we need. Let me tell you something. You can give this forever. Something that mathematically has 300 million zeros after it is never going to happen. I don't care if you have forever. That's why, as Christopher Hitchens said, it didn't happen on all the other planets. If he's right and I'm wrong, why does life happen only here? We have 16 billion years. There's natural selection there. There's genetic mutation there. Why did it happen there? One place? Oh, they'll tell you that we haven't yet found it. Well, we have all of these. He's seen the galaxy Andromeda. It's not there. Let me tell you. I'm not the only person who doesn't believe in evolution without guidance. Let me be clear about that. The greatest scientist. He passed away a few years ago, but I met him at Oxford. From Harvard, Stephen Jay Gould. He didn't believe in evolution. He believed in punctuated equilibrium. I saw him debate Richard Dawkins. He destroyed evolution, and he's an atheist. He said that the fossil record does not reflect evolution. Sir Fred Hoyle said that because there are trillions of mutations that would have to take place and none of those organisms would have survived, because the possibility of a genetic mutation is 99.9 negative, detrimental and lethal to the organism. So Hoyle said you would have to find trillions of destroyed organisms that don't exist. In fact, it was Darwin himself who said that the greatest objection to his theory, because let's remember, The Origin of Species, published in 1863, was not a tome about the origin of life. It was a theory to explain the fossil record, but the problem was that there were missing transitional links. So what he said was, I'd like to give you the exact quote. Darwin said that the imperfection of the fossil record comes entirely to the fact that we have not yet dug sufficiently. In 1863, that would make sense. But my friend, we've now dug up the whole world. We're looking for oil, we're looking for diamonds, we've dug up everywhere. We barely found them. So Stephen Jay Gould, as Christopher Hitchens well knows, doesn't believe in evolution, or didn't. The argument of punctuated equilibrium, great leaps, which explains the dearth of fossils. To still be an evolutionist today, you have to have faith. There's no evidence. The transitional links barely exist. That's why when Dawkins, a friend of mine had debated him, when he debated Stephen Jay Gould, he had nothing to say. What evidence? Where are these trillions and trillions and trillions of transitional links? Remember, you need billions of mutations to go from a single cell amoeba to the eye. And yet amazingly, which would give us an untold number of failed transitional steps, and they don't exist. You know what's interesting to me as well?